Let's turn back to Beirut now and talk about this more with Omar Nashabe. He joins us from the Lebanese capital. He's a criminal justice analyst who also served as an advisor to the Lebanese Minister of Interior. Thanks very much for being with us. So we reported there on the effect that all of this is having inside of Lebanon, the loss of life, the destruction of buildings, and not to mention, of course, the number of people who are trying to get out of the country and have been displaced right now. Do you worry, and this, of course, happening after so many previous incursions and attacks by Israel on Lebanon, do you worry that with all of the problems that the country is going through right now, that this may be more than the country can bear?
And it's been a long night of bombing. The Israelis have continued with the indiscriminate bombing of several villages, and they bombed a Palestinian refugee camp in the south. Yes, well, there are around 1 million persons that are now displaced in Lebanon. It is a very heavy weight on Lebanese society and on the Lebanese government. But people are trying to be in solidarity to help all these, people who were displaced and who lost their homes. So there is a kind of a mood of solidarity in Beirut and in other parts of the country to support the people who lost their homes, who lost their loved ones, who are in mourning, and who are scared because there is an ongoing slaughter by the Israelis. And this comes after 12 months of genocide in Gaza. So people have witnessed this, and they have seen what the Israeli criminals are capable of doing. And they have also seen how the international community could not stop the genocide, and that the United Nations Security Council passed 4 resolutions that were not respected, that the International Court of Justice issued 4 decisions that are legally binding for anyone, any nation around the world, and the Israelis did not respect that. So, of course, I mean, the civilians will feel that they will be slaughtered by the Israelis. There is this mood, yes, there is a lot of fear, because the Israelis are behaving in a way where they can commit crimes and they can get away with it because they have the support of the United States and other European countries and other countries around the world. And this is actually a failure of the United Nations, failure of the world order to stop the slaughter of civilians and the bombing of hospitals and the killing of aid workers. After 12 months in Gaza, if the Israelis get away with it, I mean, that will encourage them to commit more crimes, more genocide, and to expand their crimes. And therefore, I think that there should be an international move to stop this. This is a bloodshed, I mean, and it's ongoing. The Israelis this morning also announced, since last night, as the correspondent just said, they would like to make a ground incursion in Lebanon. Well, until now, the ground incursion did not actually occur. I mean, we can't see it. It's invisible. I mean, we're following the news all night. They have been bombing, but the ground incursion will be faced with a lot of resistance. And it is their basic right. The people have the right to defend their land. So therefore, it's not just Hezbollah. It's the Lebanese people, the citizens of the South. And that will give more popularity for Hezbollah in the South, because he's defending the country from foreign invasion. Any people anywhere around the world would stand with the resistance to resist any ground incursion. Now, this comes at a very high cost. But what can this cost be compared with the sacrifices that the people of Gaza have done? I mean, they've been under genocide for past 12 months. And that's a shock. And we are shocked at the world reaction. There's no world reaction that is up to that level of sacrifices and that level of pain and destruction and murder.
You mentioned there that this isn't an attack on Hezbollah, but it's an attack on the Lebanese people. But can I ask you about the potential for internal divisions here? Because Hezbollah does not enjoy support from all of the Lebanese public. Do you fear that the longer this goes on, that this may lead to more kind of internal fissures inside Lebanon?
Well, you see, in any country that actually is facing a war, there will be different opinions. That was the case in France when it was resisting German occupation in the Second World War. The majority of the French people were not supporting the resistance in France because they were scared. They were scared of the German enemy. It was too brutal, too violent. These Nazis were too brutal. So therefore, there are always people who are scared of this enemy, especially since they see that he is relentless and nobody can stop him, and he receives so much support from the United States. So people are scared. It's normal. But I don't think that these people will engage in any confrontation or internal. On the contrary, these people are scared. So how can they actually engage in a kind of an internal feud if they don't want the war? They want to be in peace. So I don't think there will be any internal. There can be some incidents, but the Lebanese army is united, the police is united, the Lebanese institutions in the government, although worn down, although they suffered a lot, although there is a terrible economic crisis, but still the Lebanese institutions and the Lebanese government, in its very, very weak status, but it's still together. I mean, it's still functioning to the minimum. Yet this minimum is very important for the unity of the country. And a caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati is doing his job. I mean, he's trying to keep these institutions together. And the Lebanese army is united. Yes, it announced yesterday, the Lebanese army, that it repositioned its forces in the south because it's not equipped to fight against Israel. The Lebanese army is not equipped to fight against Israel, so therefore it will reposition its forces in Lebanon so that it doesn't suffer heavy casualties. The resistance will move forward, not just Hezbollah, but other forces of resistance, and they will do everything to defend their land. And also on the political level, and on the general level, when it comes to the confrontation with Israel, there is a challenge with the Israeli enemy. The challenge is that the settlers in northern occupied Palestine will not return to their settlements. That until there is a ceasefire in Gaza. That is the ultimatum that Hezbollah made. Hezbollah said there is a ceasefire in Gaza, there will be a ceasefire in South Lebanon. No ceasefire in Gaza, and you continue killing children, bombing hospitals, then there will be no ceasefire in Lebanon, no matter what the sacrifices.
Omar Nashabe, former advisor to the Lebanese Interior Minister. Appreciate your time on TRT World.
Thank you.